There is a place as the light begins to fade. Ember ran, because standing still made them feel helpless. The wall glistened. Ember felt so that it was a relief to find someone to talk to. Ember froze when they noticed a small satchel. The satchel felt heavy. The statue shone brightly in the light. The painting showed embers on a sacred journey. There was a symbol on the floor. Ember noticed something wrong. There was a round space where something used to fit. To Ember's delight, the golden statue slid perfectly into place. Ember left, feeling sorry for the stranger now alone in the dark. The stairway opened into a dark forest. Ember could feel fear taking over. They'd washed up alone, somewhere very unfamiliar. Ember felt like they were being watched. The path was blocked. The foxes howled into the night. The only reply was silence. The route ahead was guarded by twin statues, choked by. As Ember approached, the flames seemed to call out. With a feeling like falling, the forest had slipped away. Ember felt lost in darkness and ruin. The caged flame stoked new hope in Ember. Hope was almost within reach. The flame spoke and Ember listened. The flame lingered ahead. Was it trying to escape? Or leading the way? The campfire flickered into life. The ghost spoke. I will warm them. Until Ember looked to the ghost for answers. This is a place between places to travel through as your light, but none have passed on and along. The Forest King now holds us here, and those who linger will turn forlorn. Again that word, forlorn. The forlorn are those who lost their way. If you find them, send them to me and I will guide them. I am just a guide along the way to so many lost embers have I seen. more than I could help. Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. There are others lost. Find them and I will guide them. The forest, the campfire will find those who are lost. Bring embers to the fire. Step backwards, little ember. Look behind. Upon a small grassy cliff rests a forlorn. The crow held its shining trophy tight. He was nestled between the reeds, but it was just out of reach. The stranger whispered, "I've never felt that. What does it feel like? Is it nice? It sounds nice." The worm looked helpless. As Ember picked it up, the worm let out a little yelp. Inside was a scrap of journal. The strangers on the water went on without me. Where have I landed? Vines and thorns stretch out to trip me. The broken net hung ominously around the skeleton's neck. The stranger shivered in the cold. They'd moved through such dark places. warmth was a distant memory, stolen by the passing miles. They lay down and closed their eyes. The stranger blinked at Embo. Is it morning already? How long have I been asleep? The travelers. I miss a good roast frog. Oh, how they crackle. The stranger had been forgotten. They tried to follow as best they could. But no one heard them when they fell behind. The stranger looked at Ember with surprise. Someone came back for me. Thank you. Barely visible and on a small pier with barely a sound, a lonely fisherman sat. The traveler said, "Friend, you need go see the builder in the caves. Tell them I'm sorry I never came back." The stranger had blazed their own path. Created their own rock, their own islands. They did not need Ember's kindness. But still, Ember stayed. Building a bridge should it ever be needed. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. The stranger was trapped, caught in a maze. It was hard to make sense of this place. The stranger's voice was hoarse. "I just need some time, I think, to see things clearly. The ember was I'm headed for I've heard there's a nest there. A safe place. The fisherman murmured quietly between sorrowful breaths. The fisherman felt so useless. His former joys were hollow. Sitting out there every day by the pond. Only the dark water to hear him talk. In that darkness, a glimmer flickered. A thought beating like a drum. A thought that went round and round. It all started with a frog. Every day by the pond, a constant reminder. For a brief moment he looked at Ember. Hope the fisherman spoke, saw him grow from a spent every day side by side. So much better at catches than before. Oh, it makes me feel useless on the fisherman sighed. I've wasted so. The old man looked carefully at the. Well, listen, it helps though, telling if you need help catching anything, you just ask. The fisherman noticed the broken net Ember was carrying. Let me have a look. See what I can. With a silk thread, with each knot he tied. A net. Here you go. Good as new. Caught anything in that net? Not even a nibble for me. Caught anything in that net? Not even a nibble for me. Caught anything in that net? Not even a nibble for me. The frog stared at Ember, its belly rumbling. This was not how Ember had imagined the gurgling of water, a deafening heartbeat. But then... the frog returned Ember's good deed by leading them to a lost forlorn. The stranger stood alone. Their friends have fallen aside, retreating from what came next. The stranger had ventured on. Now they were deep in the woods. It so pointless. The stranger spoke hesitantly. "Is the campfire crowded? Let me gather myself. I'll see you there." The Wanderer's Diary. Unfamiliar trees, a path overgrown. Is this a resting place? A place between places? I call out, but mine is the only voice. Key was but it was just out of reach. The old gate was locked. Ember placed the key in the lock and slowly began to turn it. The stranger gasped for breath. Dark water slipping above their head. The sea didn't care if they sank or swam. Slowly the tides ebbed, washing over old walls. A safe harbor emerging from the inky depths. Ember reached out a hand. The stranger met Ember's eyes. The two shared a moment of silence. The ghost said, "You have done all you can, little one. The path to I will guide others to follow after you clear the way." There are others like me. You will always be welcome here in the forest. Once again, Ember could feel eyes watching.